This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Hing.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Transformation with Tara Sutphen. Tara Sutphen is the author of Blame It on Your Past Lives and Soul Agreements. 3 audio CD series, metaphysical meditations, sourcing series, and sleep programming. Tara has also collaborated with Emmy Award-winning Shane Stanley and Marla Maples on numerous DVDs. Tara Sutphen is a master in the psychic sciences. If you'd like to find out more about Tara's work, upcoming seminars, and meditations to help you fulfill your dreams, visit her website at tarasutphen.com.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara. This is Tara Sutphen. And my guest today is Andrew Brewer. He is the rock and roll psychic. He's clairvoyant and an astrologer. He has been listed in 24 publications, or more even actually, as one of the top 100 psychics in the world. And he is the author of 11 books, including a new release on reincarnation, cases with anomalous dates, and creator of 3 tarot divination decks. Andrew also has a new set of 4 interlinked past life regression MP3s, the Past Life Integration Quartet. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you, Tara. How are you? Well, I wanted to catch up. I mean, you have like 400 of these, so I now have 4. So I wanted to do my part.
What?
I said you have like 400 tapes. I have 4 now, so I wanted to try to catch up with you, little by little.
Oh, I love it. Well, I don't have 400. I should have 400. I definitely have a lot of ideas and a lot of scripts, but I haven't done every script yet. And I use a lot of different scripts, with clients and stuff that actually would benefit most of the world, but I haven't done it either. So I plan to.
The last one of these 4 is like past lives with aliens, so I decided to kind of spice it up a little bit.
So past lives with what?
With aliens, the kind of the alien integration of past life energy.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I made them sort of color coded. So I put them as they're sequential. And so it goes blue, green, red, white, but the white part you kind of go to other places. So yeah, I did that.
I'll have to try these just to see what comes up.
You'll have to try these.
Huh. Yeah. Yeah. I believe that we're all aliens anyway. we don't remember where we come from. So we're aliens. But we think that aliens are something else, but I think of us as kind of aliens, Yeah. So the thought of you going back to like another star system, say, right? Or
the way I looked at it was
beyond the universe.
I looked at it as that there's an energetic signature to who people are, right? So to me, there's a kind of an energetic template, an emotional template. I think that's the thing that reincarnates, right? It's the style. And so you look at reincarnation as a chance to evolve through a certain way of processing emotionally. That doesn't mean that everything necessarily, if there is something that reincarnates, in theory there has to be some place to house it, right? If it goes somewhere, I kind of work under the assumption, with reincarnation, everything's theoretical. If you make a prediction about the stock market, you can say yes or no. Start talking about reincarnation, it's much more speculation. But I believe that there is a kind of we got one foot here and one foot someplace else. We can see this in quantum physics. We can see a lot of places in which this duality takes place. So there's nothing that would suggest to me as a finite exercise, that it's only, I was in, Germany in 1910, and here I am today. I mean, it's possible that there's a lot of other things going on here. And so in taking that style, that energetic push, how do you incorporate that into conscious awareness so that you can make choices? To me, it's all about understanding the subconscious so that you can be more consciously driving your train. So that's where that came from.
Okay. I like that. It's fun. So that, and then you have a new book as well. And anomalous. Yeah, what does anomalous mean?
So Dr. Ian Stevenson was a psychiatrist a long time ago. The guy
and
that
prolific.
created amazing.
Yeah.
Prolific. So
Prolific.
He went and studied, as you know, I'm sure very well, he went and studied children who had stories about previous lifetimes. If you had interviewed me in the 1950s, I would have had those same types of stories. But so what Dr. Stevenson found was that sometimes Lord Sridhar talked about being in the village over there in Benares, and he was born in 1950, but the guy that he was before didn't die until 1951. He called these things anomalous states. So that is the base point for where this book comes from. What happens if they overlap? Is there some mechanism? I don't believe they have to be just one after the other. I think that, again, if we look at energetic signatures, what are you aligned with? What is there kind of a hodgepodge, almost like an oversoul energy that you align with? So the anomalous states is actually stolen from Dr. Stevenson, but that's the rationale behind it. It's about concurrent lifetimes.
Right. I always think that gravity is what brings us our timeline, and where we think that everything is in consecutive order on the earth. But in reality, if your soul is off the earth, you're certainly not in gravity. So it's an interesting concept to, then the time is not relevant like we think it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of speculation. Yeah. I'm not a physicist, but there's a lot of speculation, like this whole blistered space-time kind of logic, that there are ways of inverting kind of the fields so that you go faster than the speed of light. We look at quantum, we look at quanta as exhibiting being in two places at the same time. There are lots of empirical studies that suggest this, so I'm kind of going that direction with it. But part of this book was channeled, so when you get in, you start talking about a book that's channeled, then you get into, even crazier land. And I sat on this book for 3.5 years. I wrote this book in 2013, and I would never release it. I kind of like little bits and pieces, and I thought, wow, even for me, this book is so off the hook. Even I can't say this stuff out loud. But then I finally just said, what the heck, it's time. And some of the things that were suggested to me through this channeling, I later found, which at the beginning made like zero sense to me. So then I researched my own book basically, and go, hey, that kind of makes sense. This kind of makes sense, and so that's kind of the abridged version of how that book came to be. It happened super fast. In 2013, I expected it to have it published in 2014, and I just sent it out into the universe about a month ago.
Oh, cool. Cool. So it's definitely something I'd like to look at. I'd love to read it. I just, always know that Andrew is up to really so much fun research. So it's like, Andrew, be on the show. I love it. And then, our psychic stuff. I'm always, have so much fun with you talking about the psychic world. I have my few that are just such prolific psychics, you and Cameron Steele and Dawn Krug, and there's Ali Cheslick. There's a couple people who I just love as psychics and love to have them on the show.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, but you were just always so much fun. And of course, Andrew's the one, besides Cameron, who owns the station, who talked me into being on the radio, because I definitely never thought that I would be on the radio. I was just too shy, way too shy for a long time.
Well, I did a good deed. I did a very good deed when I said, hey, you're smart, you're amazing, you're certainly photogenic, you know all this stuff. This is what you should do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm really trying to get Cheyenne. Cheyenne's my next person to come out more. She's so great and articulate, and way more articulate than I've ever been. But she's shy. She matches her name, Cheyenne. She's very shy. So she doesn't think. I gave her mother. Yes. Yeah. I think it's your time to do that, Andrew.
It's my calling.
Yeah, it's your calling in life is to, help back up people who are shy. Well, it's the psychic knowing too, knowing that they, belong and, to carve out their niche. And
that goes back to alignment, right?
Yes.
Doesn't that go back to alignment? When you look at people that make things happen, and I know this is something you've done for a long time, when you look at how people manifest things, how people really bring things into creation from an idea in their head into actual real-life 3D stuff, there has to be an energetic kind of resonance within themselves. And sometimes it's there, and there's just stuff that's been parked on top of it. If it's not there to begin with, well, that's a little more complicated. But if it is there, and it's simply a historical thing, I went through these types of experiences, and it's kind of messed with my head a little bit, that you can work with. That you can really, help people in releasing that and becoming consciously aware of why they hold on to these limitations. And it's a thought form, and that thought form takes on a certain kind of magnitude. It takes on its own reality when it may be a distortion of reality. And so it's a question of, again, kind of looking at the mirror and seeing what's true and what's in the funhouse.
Well, I know that you're going through quite a lot right now with I want us all to kind of source for you as the full moon's coming up this next week. Just to really source for you and get you in alignment, because it's a big deal to take care of a parent when a parent is, going through starting to kind of go through a transitional phase.
Well, I joke about my mother and her matrix of possibility, because her matrix of possibility is significantly different than mine, and it's significantly different from hour to hour. So in English, my mother's 90 years old. My Southern Belle beauty queen mother is 90 years old and is now in full-on dementia. And I'm here in Ohio. I hadn't planned to stay here, but I'm just here. And
well, you're a good son. You're living up to the good son.
I'm living up to the good son. And the interesting part of it is I didn't realize I had brothers until just this week. So because now there's a whole bunch of us. All right.
Really?
That's kind of there's a whole bunch of us. And she talks about, I go, well, that's me. So, but what's happening with my mother, and what's really kind of a fascinating thing with this, why I'm actually, instead of doing stuff in an office, I'm out in the woods, literally, talking to you so that the mad woman in the attic doesn't come in midstream, is that she is totally lucid. It's a fascinating thing. She's totally lucid, like normal, and then she's like possessed from something, from, again, like an alien life form. And you can see not only that the wheels are not spinning in the same direction, but there's a physical change in her. It's certainly an energetic change, if you read her aura and stuff, but she looks different. It's really sort of wacky. And for any of you who have gone through this experience of being with your parents when they're in this space in which their conception reality is kind of fluid. They're like, she can remember 1940 and can't remember 40 seconds ago. So it's challenging. I'm getting an opportunity to really practice my inner Zen, but it's also kind of fascinating from the idea of looking at the ways in which people you kind of move from one space to another. I mean, she's moving out of the, in one sense, the limitations of a 3D reality into some other, all the stuff that you and I might see, and maybe in theory, you and I might see as psychics, as clairvoyants. She's putting them all into a giant beef stew, and away we go. And there's no splitting them out. Everything is together. She sees little people in the closet, and she has cats
she probably
now,
is seeing little people in the closet.
Yeah, she probably is.
It. I mean, the walls of whatever the perception are not there anymore. Yeah. She's not living in the gravity space. And usually when the mind goes, when the mind goes, there's, they say the brain turns different colors, it gets cheese holes. She's not going to get those memories back. That if she doesn't remember you clearly now, she's probably not going to come back into lucidity at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not sequential though. The interesting thing about it, though, Tara, is that she's like her old self pretty much, and then suddenly she'll start talking. You go, wow, okay, and wow, okay. So yeah, it's a challenge. So I didn't intend to quite spend the year here, the summer here, but that's how it worked out, and I'm sure it has a higher purpose, and I'm being a good boy and that whole thing. But it's complicated. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I should be in New York City right now, having a good time, have a place for the summer, which I've just lost. I had it for the whole summer already lined up. So you don't often get places, to live in Manhattan, for 3 months at a time, that you just have to let it sit there. But stuff happens. So,
right. Can't be helped. The brothers that she says you have aren't really real, right?
I mean, as an only child, it's always fascinating when you find that you have.
There you go.
Oh, wow, okay. So yeah, that's what's happening with me.
Yeah. No, I know. I was so thankful. I had 2 brothers and a sister. I have actually 3 brothers, but my older half brother. But I had 2 brothers and a sister to help with when my dad was in dementia. But he wanted me, for some reason he would focus in that I was he wasn't married, so he wanted me to take care of him. And so it would be like, I need to get to Tara. And I'd be like driving the car or sitting next to him in the car, and he'd be asking for me, starting to be upset. So, I mean, it's just interesting what they do, yeah. But, I definitely was there. Yeah.
Which should be talking about me, and I go, that's me. She goes, no, and I go, oh, no, I'm him. So, yeah, it's interesting. Because she may remember me as a 9-year-old, for all I know. I mean, I was different.
Sure. Yeah, oh my goodness, yeah. Hopefully I don't ever do that to my 3 kids, but you never know what you're going to do, Yeah. So, and that you have this karma to be with her and you're going to learn from it. And really, my dad's been gone for a long, long time. So I'm really was happy that I was there for him and could soothe him as best I could through his scary moments, because I knew that he felt he was losing his mind, and he was. So, yeah. And,
I mean, I've had kind of an odd relationship with death over the years, and in some sense. My father died right in front of me when I was 22. I had a child that was stillborn. I had a girlfriend that got leukemia and died really quickly when she was 22. I mean, I've seen a lot of, kind of things that were disrupted. So my relationship with people being really close to me when they die just like bang, like that. So with my mother, this is a whole different experience. I've never really been in this world in which they just go on and on and on, and you see it kind of minute by minute changing. So it's a different type of reality for me. And, I think every experience is a learning opportunity, and it's a way, again, from a karmic standpoint, from a past life standpoint, to evolve. to look at it in the context of what might I have done in some of the situation. How do I take the high road here? How do I do the most ethical, most positive thing? And so it's a challenge, but hopefully I'm meeting that challenge. We'll find out as time goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It's going to be, you're going to be okay, when you get through it. I just know you are. Yeah. And you'll feel good about that you took good care of her. That's what I tell people who are usually going through this sort of thing, for sure. Because I know a lot of people actually who are doing that.
Brownie points in heaven. Yes, it's good.
Yeah,
good.
Brownie points. Nice.
And plus, I feel sad for her. If I wasn't here, she'd really be in a world of hurt. So, you can just go, well, that's too bad, or you can say, well, this is inconvenient for me, but I'm sure there were things that you did for me that were inconvenient for you, so we'll try to find a happy medium here.
Right. So now, if anybody wants to call in, we have a new call-in number. It is 844-390-TALK, T-A-L-K, which comes out to 8255. Okay. So Andrew, it's funny, here we do psychic readings, day in, day out, and I do clinical hypnotherapy, and I've been in Alaska for, most of the summer, and, it's been wonderful working with my team there, and we're getting a lot done. I don't talk about it publicly a lot because we're a, nonprofit, Native American elders nonprofit corporation, and so there's not a whole lot to talk about with the public because it's kind of we're dealing with inside with the all the villages and stuff. But there's a lot happening, and I have a lot of work to do, and I have an in-house assistant just who works on that project with me. It is really phenomenal and fantastic these days. So I just wanted to put that out there that life is going forward nicely. And, it's
That's
really,
beautiful.
Yeah, finally, I was on a journey there for a little while. And it's interesting how you're supposed to just go with the flow of what life brings so that, when the gifts start arriving, that you're ready. And it's good. So it's all good. It's going forward. I'm reading for an amazing person here, in the next few weeks for his retreat. And that's one of the big gurus of the world. And so I will put that all out on social media. They've given me permission as of yesterday to, go ahead and promote all of it still. I don't know how much room they have or anything, but we're going to be in Mount Shasta as of for 6 days, I think, the retreat. So that's going to be really exciting.
Fantastic. I love that. That's fantastic.
It is. It's such an honor. It's such an honor to be chosen. These are really big players in the world of, they own stores that are very successful people who are holy and interesting and make a difference, and that's what I love too. So with that, also, what do you see coming up? Let's just start doing some psychic stuff, Andrew. What do you see for, like, say, Cheyenne? Let's just go ahead and take Cheyenne. What do you see for Cheyenne?
Okay, what do I see for Cheyenne? Let me think about this for a second. Is Cheyenne getting married here soon?
I don't know.
I know she's in a relationship, but is she getting married?
Well, I think that, I don't know if they're going to get married or not. But maybe there's, maybe it's in the air somewhere, or she's thinking about it. She's definitely at that age where she should be thinking about it. Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's going to happen quicker than you think. We'll find out from a baseline. The other thing is that it seems to me that Cheyenne is going to go East Coast like. Either that's New York probably New York, and have some. So I'm just going to give the predictions. We'll just go that way. All right. Usually I do it. This is the emotions, but I'm just going to go straight out. This is what I think. Bang, bang, bang. First off, I would say that she gets married relatively quickly, and a very kind of like a speedy kind of thing. Secondly, I believe that she will go and be much more media-driven, not necessarily as a performer, but some sort of very intense media kind of connection based out of Manhattan, out of New York. So my expectation is that Cheyenne goes east and that she becomes more like almost in promotions, that kind of energy, like could be a spokesmodel, but I'm more inclined to think that it's someone that does like PR, that it's very much a media-centric kind of job, and that she is doing that kind of thing. But the energy going east to me seems really significant, and the marriage energy seems really significant to me too. And it seems like she just like decides, and then bang, it happens. Has she talked about doing anything like that?
Yeah, no, she's in a lot of different things, which are incredible. Yeah, she's talked about, definitely becoming more of a, taking her artwork and taking, different things to the next level. All of her cooking and all of her, she loves all the Wicca stuff, the witch stuff, and she's such a, photographically, she photographs so well, and she's so articulate, and she lives in the right area for sure to do anything that she wants as far as the limelight.
But I think this is more of a business kind of energy. To me, she shifts away. Not as much, and I'm an actress or a model.
And she doesn't like that as much. Yeah, she doesn't like that.
She goes, to me, much more in a media from a business standpoint, that she becomes, again, like a someone that does promotions for other people. That's where I expect her to be. That she's in the context of a media-centric world, but that she's not necessarily front and center or the one in front of the camera. Although, she's beautiful. It's understandable that she would still model. But I think she goes more from a business standpoint. And that becomes to me, that's the hidden link to her, is that she has this sort of, charismatic, schmoozy kind of energy. So when she releases that, then her ability to be more of a deal maker, bring people together. So when you look at people from a past life standpoint, right? And let me know if you have to take a break and I'll shut up. But when you look at people from a past life standpoint, you tend to see them have certain kinds of themes. When I think about Cheyenne, as I start thinking about her, the theme that jumps out to me most of all is what I call the diplomat energy. Well, diplomat energy could be literally that. I mean, that could be, in Paris or something, creating a treaty between France and Germany, or it's a way of bringing people together. So when you look at people who are primarily diplomat types of energetic signatures, normally what happens is that they gravitate towards ways of bringing people together. Usually you see that work out in either politics or more likely in business. To me, she goes less as an artist and more as a businesswoman. And but because she has this very photogenic, magical, thing, she has all the tools to really make it in that world. But the diplomat part of her, to me, is the untold story to her, and that in a relationship with her ability to bring people together and find common ground and get people that are ready to, smack each other in the head to kind of chill out and get on the same page. There's a very high value associated with that, especially when you put it in the context of a woman who looks like your daughter. So, so that's my prediction. She gets married in a hurry, and that she goes to New York and is very much in the media business. So we'll find out. Now,
that's interesting.
As the mother,
yeah.
How do you feel about what I just said? Is that just lunacy, or is there some potential truth to it?
No, there's totally potential truth to that, for sure. Yeah. No, there's truth to it.
I think that she has a real business sense to me. And,
yeah, she's hugely.
I think that's where she ends up. I mean, she's going to be driven towards. It's almost like she doesn't want to be the rock star, but she wants to help other people be the rock star. And the reason she can help other people be the rock star is that they look at her and go, "Darling, you're a rock star yourself." So there's an energy to it, right? People that move into spaces in which they connect with wealthy people, there's an energy that they give off that allows them to be invited into that universe. In some sense, there's a set of preconditions that have to be within the individual before you can get in there, right? So she has those to me. So I think that that's her. I've got her moving east. I put her in New York, and I put her in that space primarily. So we'll see. That'll happen. Okay. If it's going to happen, it'll happen within the next 2 years. But I would expect her to be super fast. I'm like, I'm just getting married. Bang. Okay.
Yeah, that could happen for sure. Yeah, I don't know if. Yeah, I'll have to talk to her about that. Yeah.
The diplomat thing, does that ring true to you?
Yes, she's very much a diplomat. Well, she's very conscientious and very sweet. She has a very sweet energy as well as a knowing energy. She's very observant and very handles things nicely. Yeah.
When she becomes more assertive.
Awesome. Yeah, she just needs to be a little bit more assertive, but that's maybe her 20s. Not being
so
overt.
When she becomes more assertive and more, in a way, dominant, there's sometimes when you went through this, when you're like really pretty and, you're trying to, not annoy people and find a way to get along with everybody, you hold yourself back a little bit. I mean, that's normal. But when she decides, y'all will deal with it or not, and this is what's going to happen, this is where it's going to be, bang, bang, bang. When she gets into that energy, which is where I think she will be when this is happening, then it's on. And that's when it gets entertaining. Because I believe there is an aggressiveness in some sense that's really sublimated within her. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean this in a way of, I want that to happen. If I'm doing it for someone else, it might be easier for her than if she's doing it for herself. And that's why I think that she becomes aligned with this type of energy. Very much in this media promotion. I mean, she could be like a publicist, something like that. To me, that's where she goes. And so we'll find out.
Yeah, no, she's really, she's really interesting in that way. And she is starting to assert herself through her business. I think it's a lot of times, she puts together all sorts of different things of where she wants to be because she knows this is her 20s. And so she's gone to school for, Ayurvedic medicine, to make sure that like food, what does food mean as far as being medicine, as a chef. And then she's researching all the time, skyscraper farms, that sort of thing. Like that's what she's interested in. She loves all that stuff. What the moon does. I mean, all her pagan, type of, sensibilities was the phases of the moon and phases of the earth. And so she's just an earth being who just loves, feeding people and enjoying the planet and flowers and, that good food's served. That's her thing. Yeah.
And what's really fascinating about that is the way now that you've asked me to sort of peek under her, future fig leaf here and try to, guess her future. When I think about her future, I see her very much in the Shark Tank, it's on big money, stuff, deals. So there's an energy that you often associate with, I'm sort of a free spirit, I'm an earth energy, I connect the flower essences and nutrition. And there's another energy that says this is on, we want to make sure we get on CBS and NBC, and we want to get this kind of deal. I believe she goes to that world, the big deal kind of world, and that's where she shines the most. And it would be, in a lot of respects, totally at variance with the model that you would typically associate with the way you just described her. Again, because I say, does that make it true? We'll find out. But I believe that is the progression for her, and that once she goes there, it just goes. So, that of course, those things help her to stay in balance with herself. You and I probably get as much attention for what we look like, now as we did 30 years ago, which is crazy. And so that's part of her dynamic. It's part of her entry into the game, so to speak. Again, I hope that makes sense, but I see her definitely go in that direction, where she is in the midst of the high end of the deal-making promotional space. That's where I think she goes.
Okay, cool.
We'll see.
Cool. Well, we had someone on the line, but they should call back, because we definitely want them to come. And, I'm thinking for you, just kind of read you a little bit. Andrew, I think for you upcoming, you're going to come through this with wonderful flying colors of taking care of your mother. And then, I feel a little bit like you're going to feel that you've misstepped a little bit, but in reality, it's going to lead you exactly where you want to go. And I think that you could stay in Ohio as a base for a while, but I'm feeling that you will move off of that and go toward maybe Chicago for some reason comes up. I don't know if you know anybody in Chicago, but I'm thinking Chicago more than New York. But,
Well, you said that before, actually.
Have I? Yeah. That's what I feel. Yeah, I keep feeling Chicago. A woman in Chicago, maybe. Or somebody, a group of friends, even. Yeah. Saw you, Chicago girl.
It's funny. Out of all the cities that I've been to,
yeah,
there's only one that makes me kind of feel kind of nervous, and that's Chicago. Like, I can walk around Manhattan or Los Angeles or San Francisco, feel totally safe. But when I get around Chicago, I go, wow, this is a crazy place, man. This is, like, dangerous. It's interesting. I've always had that feeling about Chicago. Where I live, Hamilton, Ohio, used to be called Little Chicago. Again, it's an irony. Little Chicago back in the 30s, because it used to be the hangout for Dillinger and people. They would come here because it's between Cincinnati and Dayton. I guess it was convenient as a kind of place to hide out. Now it's all like, American City and all conservative. Back then, I guess it was like a wild child, hell ride. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. Well, maybe Little Chicago, maybe you're going to end up there, but I don't, but I see big Chicago. But I don't see necessarily Chicago downtown. I see just that area. There's a lot of great people live in those areas.
Yeah, I could go back and do other stuff and go back into business, or there are a whole host of things that potentially
do some seminars. I think that you would do great going in, doing psychic stuff and doing some seminars. Maybe getting in an RV and driving around.
Yeah, the RV thing, this is another kind of interesting thing. It's come up. I used to be involved with a magazine called Twisted South Magazine a long time ago. It was a music lifestyle kind of magazine, and it went out of business, which magazines do, right? And one of the concepts that they had was for me and a woman who was a country singer to get in an RV and go cruise around the country, and they wanted to do a TV show about it. Well, this just came up the other day, like 2 or 3 days ago. Somebody said, you should go and get in an RV and just drive around the country and people should film you. And I go, okay, sure, sounds good to me. But, so again, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. That'd be fun.
It sounds really fun. Yeah. Yeah, and I, never used to be, I used to like my big houses and stuff, but, and it's still like, big house. I'm in an amazing one now, but RV does sound really fun. Really fun. Just, be free, kind of thing, free spirit. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've always had this kind of gypsy energy, and, unless I was a corporate analyst, that was a different kind of space, but for the most part, I've always had this kind of gypsy energy, and I kind of like that, right? That's one of the reasons I'm frustrated with being in Ohio, because I'm not used to, here I'm really kind of constrained in ways that I'm not used to. So I guess that's the downside to being the only child, is that you're like, wow, I'm going to go do events. And I had events I had to cancel, right? New York and Connecticut and places. So.
Yeah.
Sucks a little bit. Can't be helped.
Yeah, it's okay. It's going to be fine in the end. It's going to really be fine. I really feel that, that she's going to do her thing here, and you're going to be there, and you're going to feel really good about it afterwards that you stuck it out, because you're not only you're the only child, but it is I was thankful that I had siblings, and at the time, I was pretty young when my dad died, and I was in my early 30s. So, I was really thankful that my brothers, my sister lived outside the area, but she'd come down, and, but my brothers were around, and we could tag team, because it was exhausting. It was really exhausting.
Yeah,
he was terminally ill for a couple of years. Yeah.
There's nobody to touch and have him come in and wrestle. I mean, I'm the one, it's a solo match. So,
yeah,
it's complicated.
Right. You'd always bring in a babysitter, There's always babysitters, and
she won't allow that. Another, I mean, I realize it's probably the most boring radio show I've ever done, but she won't let that happen. So she doesn't want people to come in, I think partly because it's already so crowded with all the people that are already there. So,
right. Yeah, right. Well, you just have to force that sometimes. You have to force that. That's not something that's her. You can't let the monkeys run the zoo. You have to allow, you're the one who has the sound mind. So you have to say, oh, no, I'm going to be back in 2 hours. I'm doing this. And this nice person is going to stay with you. Treat them nice. Go out. Because, a lot of times you need breaks and help. So this is an intervention.
Thank you. I need that. Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you don't have to do it all yourself. There is a lot of caregivers in the world, for sure. So now, next week is the full moon. I've gone ahead and I've opened it to the public. I haven't for a very long time opened my moon rituals to the public. I've had a lot of moon rituals that are private moon rituals every month, for groups. Groups will hire me to come in to do a moon ritual for their group. But we're gonna, and then last month I was in Alaska. So I had a moon ritual actually with the elders, the native elders, which is fantastic, of course. And, so this month is, and I'm going to be in Santa Barbara. So I'll be in Santa Barbara, and you can call my assistant, leave a message, and she'll get back to you, or email, and she will, give you all the information. Yeah.
I was born on a full moon, exactly flipped from this one, and I have a Leo moon and an Aquarius sun. So.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be an Aquarius moon for the full moon. Yeah, and then I was, or Leo moon rather, for this one, because it's the new moon that usually is the flip. So I was born in in total darkness. I'm almost to the degree of total darkness of a new moon. Yeah. And I love the night and love everything, that's out of reach, the mystery. So I think that's interesting. So you wanted the energy. That when you're born on a full moon, it's the energetic pull. It's like that magnificence of the energy coming into that. It's pretty fun. That is fun. Yeah. So that full moon energy. Wow. So that would have been, what is your moon? What degree?
My moon is 13 Leo, sun 17 Aquarius. So that was right before the full moon. I was born right in the middle of the day, 1:20. So the cold is the exact midpoint of winter, the exact middle of winter, and I hate the cold. It's kind of funny. So.
Yeah, well,
supposedly the coldest day of the year.
Yeah. February 6th, right?
Yes, that's correct. So when I was born, I guess it was the coldest day of that year. And, what can I say? What can I say? And, the other thing is, when you're talking about these things with the elders, my father, both of his grandmothers were Native American. I don't have any Native American on my mother's side that I'm aware of, but my father, both of his great-grandmothers were Native Americans. So.
And what tribes?
Polly was Cherokee from Tennessee, and my grandmother Hughes was an Apache, and I've still never really quite figured out the math on how that happened, but she was an Apache. So. No,
the Apaches were sent to the Seminole Reservation. No, it's easy. It's easy, the Apaches being in the South.
So I have my great-great-grandmother Hughes was an Apache, and supposedly really super beautiful. And then my great-great-grandmother Polly Wolf Brewer was Cherokee from East Tennessee, and she and I kind of look alike. I have a picture of her. It's kind of it's weird looking how much we do look alike. She definitely looks like an older Native American, but when you put the picture in the nose and the cheeks and the chin, there's a lot of similarity. And you wouldn't necessarily think of it so much looking at me dead on. But when you compare the two, it's really there's a lot of commonality.
Wow, that's fun. Yeah, well, Cherokees originated out of Georgia. So, yeah. I mean, we just think of them as in Oklahoma, but their origin is Georgia. Yeah, and I'm mired in the Native Americans of North America, but mostly of up in Alaska these days. And wonderful people on my team, doctors and nurses and suicide prevention specialists, and you name it, I got it. It's a really amazing, fun team.
Don't you think that's, I want to talk about suicide for a second because you brought it up.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting dynamic when you have clients, and I've been in this space, after my daughter died, and, when you have clients you're going through that. I think that's such an integral part. So many people really, I think, struggle with that. What is that process like for you, being involved with that?
Yeah, well, it's trying to bring people into, that they don't, it's a hopefulness usually and a focus. Even like drugs and alcohol, it's like reframing into, your life as far as focus, like where exactly are you think you're struggling and that life is taking you down. Like you have to change your viewpoint about things. It's this whole, hate, the unhopeful, really, of what you're doing. Every step that you take needs to go in a positive direction over a negative one. There are signs. That's why the shamanic signs are so important. When people don't like you, when people are, it's not coming into any sort of semblance of order, you have to turn away from that and go where there's an acceptance of anything. Whether it's, like a good example is when things go easy for you. Like when I went to Alaska, I didn't want to rent a car because, it was $2,000 like for every 2 weeks. They take advantage of the tourists that come there. And I was like, really? Rent a car and it's going to be $2,000. So I didn't say anything, but then I was offered 2 cars. So I was offered 2 cars, not just 1 car. I was offered 2 cars, great cars. To whereas, I took one and it was amazing to have a car to run around, to do all my meetings and everything. So I think that's, the thing is when things are easy, it's the right way. There's a lot of dissension. If, marriages, friendships, housing, all of it. If it's not easy, it's not for you. If the job is not easy, there's a lot of jobs in the world. You move your body. And that's really part of the purpose on the planet is that we move our bodies to match. I always say that you are a clear thinking human, that your mind matches your communication skills and matches your actions. We all know that a lot of people dream. They don't move their dreams into actions. We know that a lot of people are angry, and they're angry for really no reason, and we don't really understand what their whole thing is, but move away from it. Move away from it because this is a sign for you. And when you move away, even though you want things to be different, it doesn't matter. It happened, whatever the fight was or the upsets are, the issues, move away. And heal it from in a different way. Like take a higher road on the viewpoint. Like you with having to take care of your mother. It's a hard time right now. I mean, it would be a hard time. If I was in your shoes right now, I would think it's a hard time. So the bottom line is that, people have empathy for you, but you will be a champion once you come from on the other side of it. Because when you take care of somebody who took care of you and there's a safety factor, no matter what the personality issues that you might have even with this person, if you come to the other side and there's a gratefulness and a thankfulness at the end of that juncture.
Yeah, I always say that, you don't sign up for shaman college. They sort of come and recruit you, right? They sort of come and, I came with this term a long time ago for the dark night of the soul, shamanic roto-rooter, right? People go through these transformations and go through these challenges.
Absolutely.
But when you're roto-rooted and when you're ripped up, you're always restitched and put back together, and that restitching is a power. And, so embracing the roto-rooter part of it, you have a roto-rooter for a purpose because there's something that's not working or you wouldn't have to have a roto-rooter, right? So you go through this transformation. It may kind of suck at the time. You make a mess. But once it's done, then you're, all fresh and clean and ready to rock. And, I don't really begrudge so much being in Ohio. There's days I'm like, wow, I wish I could go somewhere for a few days. But then, it doesn't really bother me that much. I deal with it the best I can, and I've sort of figured out, modes of adaptation. From a career standpoint, it's kind of, slowed me down a little bit. But, hey, who cares? It'll start up again. It doesn't matter. And, so maybe it's good to have a little bit of a vacation from that.
So Andrew,
I get to do readings. I get to do radio shows in the trees.
That's right. There you go. In the beautiful nature, beautiful nature in the middle of summer. Hey, so
nice.
Your website is
Andrew-Brewer.com. So it's ANDREW-BREWER.com. That's me.
Yes, and so Andrew has lots of time right now, so call him for readings.
And I will find a convenient tree to stand next to in order to do this.
That's right.
Yeah, it's interesting the scheduling is, and I don't do many radio shows anymore because I know you, and, I figured, well, even if I'm standing under a tree, it's not going to make that much difference.
Right. Right. No, I think that you should go forward. Remember that your life is important, and your mother would want you to have that life if she wasn't going through dementia. So she's just doing her thing. You're just there. It's the contract.
You're not fighting, honey. It's all good. My Southern Belle mother. It's interesting to see, she, even as a 9-year-old and kind of losing her mind, she's still, honey, how would you think I am? I mean, she's still like that. I think I've gained 3 pounds. I mean, she hadn't gotten past that yet. That diva thing will be the last thing to go in her. She'll like flirt with the, attendants, and she'll flirt with the doctors, and I mean, she's entertaining. What can I say?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, she sounds like, she's a lot of fun, really, as your mom over the years.
Yeah, she's entertaining. My Southern Belle Diva, and she definitely, when you think Southern Belle Diva, I mean, her picture's right next to it. So if you watch a sitcom with a bunch of, Southern Belles, that's my mother. So.
All right. Hey, so if anybody wants to come to the moon ritual next week.
I do.
Yeah.
I will absolutely project. One of these days I'm going to be there. That's going to happen. I definitely want to do that.
Yeah, you can contact me or contact my assistant at sourcemoon@gmail.com. And thank you, Andrew, for being on the show.
Thank you for inviting me and letting me stand in the trees and talk.
Yeah, and I can't wait to read your book and to do your new MP3s on reincarnation. They should be really so much fun. Do more. I want you to do more. That's what you need to do, is do some scripts. So that way you're ready to record.
They were fun to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Kansas City to do them. It was a good time. I did it with Paradiso and Rossmeyer Turtorici. They were really beautiful. They were a big help to me.
Awesome. Okay. Well, blessings. Thank you for being on the show. Lots of love.
Thank you.
Lots of love, everybody. Blessings.
Thank you for sharing your time with Tara Sutphen. Find out more about Tara's work, upcoming seminars, and meditations to help you fulfill your dreams by visiting her website at tarasutphen.com.